Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Well, Anthony Joshua has accepted a 60-40 split to face Tyson Fury by the end of the year. But there are some obstacles to overcome, like the fight date, potential rematch, all these sort of associated details. And I think collectively, many of us are kind of just not getting our hopes up. And even Eddie Hearn has told IFL TV that people maybe shouldn't get their hopes up. It feels like this is all going a little too well. It's all happened a little too quickly. It's all played out a little too publicly. And it's kind of like we're sitting here waiting, watching. There's positive stuff happening and we're going, but this is boxing. Things aren't this smooth. And I think we're going, hold, not trying to get too invested because, look, let's face it, we've been here before for this fight and it never happened. And it feels like this is going too well. But I do think that there are some obstacles that will potentially get in the way, and the so-called house of cards perhaps will collapse in a split second at some point. But you've got Anthony Joshua accepting the 60-40 offer for a WBC heavyweight title fight. Eddie Hearn confirmed that to IFL TV. But he did also say that the offer from Tyson Fury includes a rematch clause for 50-50. And he said Joshua would be happy to accept a rematch if it was a 60-40 in his favour. And Hearn didn't envisage this to be a problem. And I guess maybe that's red flag number one. So accepting 60-40 but then saying no to 50-50 in a rematch could be a sticking point. We've seen, things like that, Scupper fights before. Remember, Dillian White wanted more than whatever he was going to be offered in an Anthony Joshua rematch, and it all fell to pieces a couple of years ago. But the date is also seemingly going to be a sticking point. Maybe not insurmountable, but they're looking at different dates at the moment. So Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, that side want December 17th. And I guess that makes sense. It's the furthest date out from the August 20th fight date that Joshua's just been in. Tyson Fury on Instagram has said, look, November 26th at Wembley or December 3rd in Cardiff. That's the dates. Take it or leave it. And the couple of venues involved, Tyson Fury has said to TalkSport, I have November 26th at Wembley or December 3rd at Principality Stadium. One is 11 weeks, one is 12 weeks. If a professional athlete who shredded all year round can't get himself in shape in 3 months, there's a problem. And Joshua does historically have pretty long training camps and generally only fights once a year. This would be quite a quick turnaround for him, especially in the age of COVID and sort of dropping back down to one fight a year. Even at his peak popularity, it was generally twice a year and more spaced out than just 3 months later after his last fight. Eddie Hearn has also stated that he's spoken to Frank Warren's son George Warren about ways to make it work in terms of a shared pay-per-view broadcast, and he's quoted as saying, I don't think either party would have an issue. I'm sure if they really want this fight and it's going to happen, they'll make a way for it to happen because there's megabucks involved. Everyone's going to get paid and handsomely. And do they want to sort of potentially leave all sorts of money on the table if they genuinely want this fight? I don't think so. But still, broadcasting, it's a potential snag. And Eddie Hearn has also just cautioned fans just to keep calm at the moment, saying, I don't want to get people too excited because I have doubts. But AJ's ready to fight him in December. We're up for it. Let's do it. I don't see any unsolvable objects that, if they really want it, should stop this fight. So I think that's a decent position to take because it kind of feels like it's all going swimmingly, but we're just waiting for that one thing or two things or whatever they may be, just to scupper the whole thing and it to be over and people sort of yelling and shouting on social media, blaming the other, because we've seen it before and we could see it again. But I guess with one thing with this fight, Tyson Fury might go, well, Anthony Joshua, he's lost 2 in a row. If he continues to lose in the next year or two, his value in terms of the value of this fight with him is only going to go down. So he could see money slipping away. And when you consider Tyson Fury is big on legacy as well, this could be the only opportunity to face Joshua right now. If he doesn't face Joshua in his career, there will be people saying, especially if he beats Alexander Usyk, that he didn't fight all of the big names of his generation, didn't clean out the division, as it were, and there will be some people that'll have some question marks. But if he becomes undisputed, even without facing Anthony Joshua, I think people would regard him as the best of his era, and that would be definitive. But Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, it is one of those sort of fights that we just need. Regardless of legacy, it's a huge fight. It's always been interesting, and I hope it happens. But like I say, I have my doubts, and there had been Tony Bellew coming out saying Joshua shouldn't take it for less than 50-50. Obviously, Joshua disagrees and thinks that 40% must be fair, considering he's getting a title shot out of nowhere. And some may say, is it deserved, given he's coming off 2 losses? And certainly that's a question. But Fury has responded to Tony Bellew, saying he's not surprised of the behaviour from Bellew, saying he's a fanboy for AJ, isn't he? He's on AJ's hoo-ha. I'm not even going to say it on radio where he's sitting. So I don't think we really have to guess too hard what he's talking about, and implying that Tony Bellew's got something looking like a wizard's sleeve at this point. I'm still just skeptical. I really want this to happen, and if it happens, like I said in other videos, I'll be shocked out of my skin. But sometimes these things can come together quickly and easily. But because it's playing out very publicly, all the issues are being spelt out in public, there's just a part of me that thinks most stuff happens quickly in private, off social media. But I guess this is Tyson Fury, who moves in different ways. But it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't happen. But if it does, well, fantastic for boxing fans, and what a way to round out 2022. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.